Oh boy. Hey guys, Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft. Today I'm going to show you a quick, simple setup that you can use with a dog if he's willing to actually work for you. And we're going to upgrade the trapping sled. Alright guys, we're back, and what I want to do is I want to show you the components of what you're actually going to need to upgrade your trapper sled to help your dog pull you. Native peoples have been employing dogs and using them as tools, you know, to help them along their way. Our Arctic explorers would also use dogs. The difference between them and me is that my dog is a pet. He's part of the family as well as he's a tool. But he's not so much a tool other than the fact that he's just doing what he likes to do, okay? That's what he was bred for along the ways. So let's take a look at those parts now. First, obviously, we're going to need your dog-powered motor, okay? And what he has on here, this is a harness, okay? This is a freighting harness. And the difference between a freighting harness and a racing harness is as it comes across his back, all right, you're going to see that the spreader bar goes past his legs, okay, like this, and keeps the harness from collapsing in on his legs. Also, it puts a lower attachment point to keep the weight off the dog's hips. Right here, we have a tug line, what's known as a tug line. This will attach the dog to the load. As you can see here, we have a bungee cord attached to another line, all right, which goes to the two beaners in the back. This acts as a shock absorber for the dog between the load and himself when he goes to move, so that he's not slamming in and into a rigid line. This helps relieve some of the tension. The attachment points are the same points as what you have for the tump line. I've just removed the tump line and put it between the two beaners itself. Lastly, what you see here is this line is attached to the front by the beaners where it connects into the tug line. And what it has is a very simple, quick disconnect. Okay, this winds up being what's known as a snub line, or basically your brake. I can control the sled by using this while I walk next to him as he's leading out in front of me. I can drag this underneath the sled if I need it for friction to keep the sled from running into him if we're going downhill. I also use it for myself if I'm using the tump line. And there's different points of attachments that I could use as well. So those are the components of how to actually set your sled up so that you could use a dog or another type of draft animal as well. Go ahead, go. Ooh. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. You know, using a dog and training a dog to help you along the way is not an easy task, and you really do have to take the time to put the work into, you know, training the dog. A lot of us just use voice commands to help steer the dog. It's usually a G or a haw to go right or left. All right, but they have to want to do it. Okay, you can't force a dog to do this. Okay, he has to want to do it. And I just want to caution everybody, before you think about going to a sled dog company, getting a harness for your dog, strapping it on, and going with it, all right? Just remember your dog. You're certainly not going to strap this on to a beagle or a dog that's not designed, you know, for doing draft work, okay? He's a happy dog. You see him when he's on the trail. You saw that footage when he was going down straight and narrow. His tail was, you know, perfectly straight and erect, and he was working. He had a good work ethic, and that's what you want to see with a dog. But the only way that you do that is if the dog's happy. he's sitting here and his tail's wagging away and he wants to keep on going. Just remember to take your dog into consideration before you start to do this and before you start to train. All right, he wants to get going. He's getting a little antsy. So this is Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft. I thank you for your views and your comments, and until the next one, walk the woods.